In the depths of every winter morning, two CEOs in Manhattan wake at exactly the same moment. The first rolls over, silencing his alarm with practiced precision, surrendering to the seductive whisper of just 5 more minutes. The second plants her feet firmly on the cold hardwood floor, her mind already mapping out the empire she'll build in these sacred early hours. Both are equally talented, both run successful companies. But by the end of this year, one will have quadrupled their revenue, while the other will be fighting to keep their market share. The difference? It's not their strategy, it's not their team, it's not even their product. It's what happens in the first hour of their day. For centuries, we've been fed the myth that success is built in boardrooms, that fortunes are made during power lunches and networking events. But here's the truth that Wall Street doesn't want you to know. Wealth is built before the world wakes up. Every dollar, every deal, every breakthrough starts in those quiet moments when most of the world is still dreaming. I've spent the last decade studying the morning routines of billionaires, Olympic athletes, and revolutionary thinkers. What I discovered wasn't just a pattern, it was a blueprint. A blueprint so powerful that it transformed my own life from counting pennies to counting millions. Today, I'm going to share this blueprint with you and show you how the most valuable real estate in your life isn't measured in square feet. It's measured in minutes between 5 o'clock and 7 a.m. Time isn't just money, it's momentum. When you examine the fabric of success across history, you'll find a fascinating pattern woven into its core: the extraordinary power of dawn. This isn't about mere productivity. It's about tapping into a biological advantage that's written into your DNA, an advantage that 95% of the population ignores. Let's talk science for a moment. Your brain produces a hormone called cortisol, which peaks in the early morning hours. This isn't just any chemical. It's your body's natural rocket fuel for focus, creativity, and decision-making. When you align your most important work with this cortisol peak, you're essentially getting a free biological upgrade. It's like having a supercomputer that runs at double speed, but only for a few precious hours each morning. But here's what makes this even more intriguing. In these early hours, your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain, operates with remarkable clarity. Before the barrage of emails, notifications, and other people's agendas hijack your neural pathways, you have a window of pure, uncontaminated mental space. This is why many of history's greatest achievements were conceived between 5 o'clock and 7 a.m. Consider this. Ernest Hemingway wrote at dawn. Tim Cook starts his day at 3:45 a.m. Mary Barra, CEO of General Motors, is in the office by 6 a.m. These aren't arbitrary choices. They're strategic decisions based on understanding the hidden power of dawn. When the world is quiet, your potential roars. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I'm not a morning person. Let me challenge that belief. The concept of being a morning person or a night owl is largely a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your body's circadian rhythm is malleable, adaptable, and most importantly, trainable. The difference between someone who thrives at dawn and someone who dreads it often comes down to one simple factor: their morning routine's purpose. The real power of dawn isn't just in the early start. It's in the psychological advantage it creates. When you win the first battle of the day by rising early, you create a cascade of small victories. This momentum carries through every meeting, every decision, and every interaction. You're not just starting early, you're starting strong, and that strength compounds throughout your day. Think about the last time you had to catch an early flight. Despite it being hours before your usual wake time, you managed to get up. Why? Because there was a compelling reason. A purpose that outweighed your desire for more sleep. The million-dollar morning routine isn't about forcing yourself to wake up early. It's about creating a purpose so compelling that you can't wait to get up and seize it. Let's talk about the mathematics of morning mastery. Not the basic arithmetic of hours and minutes, but the exponential equation of compound time. What I'm about to share isn't just theory. It's the financial algorithm that separates seven-figure earners from the rest. Here's a calculation that changed my life. 1 extra productive hour each morning equals 365 hours per year. That's not just time, that's 7 additional work weeks you create out of thin air. Now let's translate this into monetary terms. If your hourly value is $100, and if you're an entrepreneur or professional, it's likely much higher, that single morning hour compounds to $36,500 annually. But here's where it gets interesting. This figure drastically underestimates your true return. Why? Because morning hours aren't created equal. Research from the University of Texas has shown that our cognitive performance is up to 26% higher in the early morning compared to later hours. When we apply this cognitive premium to our calculation, that same hour is actually worth closer to $46,000 annually. But even this number is just the beginning. Consider Mark Cuban's morning routine revelation. He discovered that 1 hour of focused morning preparation saved him 3 hours of problem solving later in the day. Using this 1:3 ratio, your single morning hour now translates to 1,095 hours of increased productivity annually, equivalent to 27 additional work weeks. At $100 per hour, we're now talking about $109,500 in potential value creation. But the real magic lies in what I call the morning multiplier effect. When you consistently maximize your morning hours, you create 3 distinct financial accelerators. First, there's the decision premium. Studies from the University of Pennsylvania show that decisions made in the morning are 58% more likely to be strategically sound than those made later in the day. For a business owner or professional, this improved decision-making quality can mean the difference between a 5-figure mistake and a 6-figure opportunity. Second, we have the preparation compound effect. Every minute spent planning in the morning saves 10 minutes of execution time later. This isn't just about efficiency, it's about effectiveness. When you map out your day before the chaos begins, you're not just working faster, you're working smarter. Third, there's the energy economics. By front-loading your day with high-value activities during your peak cognitive hours, you're essentially buying low and selling high with your energy. This energy arbitrage creates a surplus that allows you to outperform your competition consistently. Let me share a real-world example. Ilona Waber, a client of mine, implemented this mathematical framework 3 years ago. She was already successful, making $200,000 annually as a consultant. Within 6 months of optimizing her morning routine, she had doubled her client base. By year 2, she had scaled her consulting firm to 7 figures. The key wasn't working more hours, it was maximizing the value of her morning hours. The numbers don't lie. When you compound this morning advantage over months and years, the financial impact is staggering. We're not talking about minor improvements, we're talking about exponential growth that can transform your economic trajectory. This isn't about hustling harder. It's about leveraging the most valuable hours of your day with mathematical precision. And here's the most powerful part. Unlike market conditions, competitor actions, or economic cycles, your morning routine is completely within your control. It's a variable you can optimize starting tomorrow with 0 additional capital investment using the 5 pillars of morning mastery. 1. Mind mastery. Think of your mind as an engine that powers a high-performance vehicle. Just as a Formula One car requires precise tuning before a race, your mind demands deliberate calibration during the dawn hours. This isn't about simple meditation. It's about creating a state of peak mental performance that most people never experience. The process begins with what I call alpha state activation. A precise combination of breath work and neural entrainment that shifts your brain waves from sleep patterns to heightened alertness in under 7 minutes. You'll start with 3 minutes of alternating nostril breathing, which balances your hemispheric brain function. This is followed by a specialized visualization sequence where you mentally rehearse your most important outcomes for the day, engaging all 5 senses to create a multidimensional success blueprint in your neural pathways. The final component involves crafting what I call power statements. Not mere affirmations, but scientifically structured declarations that activate your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters and prioritizes information. These statements are designed to align your subconscious mind with your conscious goals, creating an internal environment where success becomes not just possible, but inevitable. 2, body activation. The body isn't just a vehicle for your brain. It's a sophisticated biochemical factory that can either manufacture energy or drain it. The key lies in understanding the body's natural cortisol melatonin cycle and leveraging it for maximum performance. Your morning movement sequence isn't about burning calories. It's about igniting your cellular powerhouses. Start with what I call the dynamic awakening protocol. A series of movements designed to activate your lymphatic system and trigger the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, a protein that supercharges your cognitive function. This isn't your standard stretching routine. Each movement is precisely sequenced to build upon the previous one, creating a cascade of biological optimization. The protocol includes vestibular system activation exercises that improve your balance and spatial awareness, followed by cross-body movements that enhance neural connectivity. You'll finish with a set of breathing exercises that oxygenate your tissues and elevate your heart rate variability, a key marker of stress resilience and cognitive performance. This entire sequence takes just 11 minutes, but provides the energy equivalent of 2 cups of coffee without the crash. 3, knowledge acquisition. Knowledge isn't just power, it's premium fuel for your million-dollar morning. But there's a profound difference between passive information consumption and strategic knowledge acquisition. Your morning learning protocol must be designed to create immediate actionable insights, not just accumulate facts. The optimal knowledge acquisition sequence begins with what I call targeted input integration. Instead of random reading, you'll focus on pre-selected material that directly relates to your current challenges and opportunities. This means curating your morning reading list the night before, focusing on content that can create immediate value in your next 24 hours. You'll use the RPR method, read, process, reflect, spending 10 minutes reading, 5 minutes processing through active note-taking, and 5 minutes reflecting on application. For audio learning, you'll employ the insight extraction protocol. This isn't about passive listening during your commute. Instead, you'll actively engage with carefully selected audio content, using a structured note-taking system that transforms abstract concepts into concrete action steps. The key is to focus on extracting one immediately applicable insight rather than trying to absorb everything. This single insight, properly executed, can often trigger a chain reaction of positive outcomes throughout your day. 4, strategic planning. Ordinary people plan their day. Extraordinary achievers architect their destiny. Your morning planning session isn't about creating a to-do list. It's about engineering your next quantum leap. This is where you'll implement what I call the success architecture framework. Begin with time block alchemy, dividing your day into 3 distinct zones: creation, connection, and completion. The morning hours are reserved for creation, when your mind is sharpest. Connection activities, meetings, calls, collaborative work are scheduled for midday. Completion tasks, which require less cognitive horsepower, are relegated to later hours. You'll then employ the impact multiplier method, ranking your tasks not by urgency, but by their potential to create exponential results. This isn't traditional prioritization, it's strategic leverage identification. Using a specialized decision matrix, you'll identify activities that can trigger cascading positive outcomes. One properly placed domino can knock down thousands of others, and one strategically executed morning task can eliminate dozens of future problems. 5, creative expression. Creativity isn't a gift, it's a practice. And the early morning hours are your creativity's prime time. This pillar focuses on structured creative expression that generates breakthrough insights and innovative solutions. The key is what I call controlled creative chaos. Start with rapid idea generation, a specialized journaling technique that bypasses your internal critic. Using timed writing sprints, you'll capture raw ideas without judgment, creating a reservoir of potential innovations. This isn't traditional journaling. It's targeted thought excavation designed to unearth solutions to specific challenges you're facing. Follow this with problem reversal, a powerful technique where you intentionally flip your challenges upside down. Instead of asking how to increase sales, ask how to guarantee no one ever buys your product. This cognitive pattern interruption often reveals blind spots and generates unexpected solutions. The morning hours are perfect for this practice because your mind hasn't yet settled into its usual patterns of thinking. These 5 pillars, when executed with precision in the early morning hours, create what I call the success synchronicity effect, a state where your mental, physical, and creative energies align to produce extraordinary results. Each pillar reinforces the others, creating a compounding effect that transforms your morning routine from a simple habit into a success acceleration system. Success without a system is just a series of lucky accidents. The difference between those who transform their mornings and those who merely attempt change lies in the implementation framework. This isn't about willpower, it's about installing a new operating system in your life through what I call the progressive adaptation protocol. Let's begin with the 21-day adaptation sequence. Forget everything you've heard about habits forming in 21 days. That's oversimplified psychology. Instead, we're going to work with your brain's natural neuroplasticity cycles. During the first 7 days, you'll focus solely on the wake-up sequence. No complex routines, no elaborate practices, just mastering the art of rising at your designated time. This is what I call the single variable victory approach. The specific mechanics involve temperature regulation, light exposure, and movement patterns. Your bedroom temperature should drop by 3 degrees at night, triggering your body's natural sleep signals. A programmable thermostat becomes your first investment in morning mastery. You'll pair this with strategic light exposure, a wake-up light that simulates sunrise, beginning 30 minutes before your target wake time. This isn't just about waking up, it's about working with your body's circadian rhythms rather than against them. Days 8, 14 introduce what I call routine layering. Once you've mastered the wake-up sequence, you'll systematically add one element of your morning routine every 2 days. This graduated approach prevents the overwhelming sensation that derails most people's attempts at transformation. Each new element is introduced with a specific success metric. Not just meditation, but meditation with measurable breath counts. Not just reading, but reading with documented insight extraction. The final week, days 15, 21, focuses on optimization and environmental engineering. This is where you'll fine-tune your morning ecosystem. Every object in your morning space should serve your success. Your clothes are laid out in sequence. Your reading materials are positioned strategically. Your hydration station is prepared the night before. This isn't about convenience, it's about removing every possible point of resistance between you and your morning mastery. But here's where most people fail. They don't prepare for resistance. Resistance isn't just probable, it's guaranteed. Your brain is programmed to conserve energy and maintain homeostasis. It will fight this change. The key is to anticipate and systematically dismantle each form of resistance before it appears. First, there's environmental resistance. You'll need to create what I call success triggers, environmental cues that make your new routine the path of least resistance. This means removing your phone from your bedroom, replacing it with a traditional alarm clock. It means creating a dedicated morning space that serves no other purpose than supporting your routine. Then there's social resistance. Your new schedule will clash with old social patterns. This requires implementing what I call the boundary broadcasting protocol, a systematic way of communicating your new standards to your social circle. You're not asking for permission, you're declaring your new operating system. The third form of resistance is internal, your own doubts, excuses, and rationalizations. This is where you'll employ the resistance reversal framework. Each time your mind generates an excuse, you'll use it as a trigger for action rather than inaction. I'm too tired becomes your cue to engage in your energization sequence. "I don't have time" becomes your reminder of the compound value of morning mastery. Progress tracking is crucial, but must be structured correctly. You'll use what I call the Success Metrics Matrix, a comprehensive tracking system that measures not just adherence to your routine, but its impact on your performance metrics. This isn't about checking boxes. It's about correlating your morning mastery with your actual results. The matrix tracks 4 key areas: energy levels throughout the day, decision quality and speed, creative output, quantity and quality, financial impact of morning-generated insights. Finally, you'll need a recalibration protocol. Every 30 days, you'll conduct a deep dive analysis of your morning routine's effectiveness. This isn't just about what's working. It's about identifying opportunities for optimization. Your morning routine should evolve as you evolve, becoming more sophisticated as your capacity expands. Remember, implementation isn't about perfection, it's about progression. Each morning is a new opportunity to refine your process, to strengthen your commitment to excellence. The goal isn't to create a rigid system that confines you, it's to develop a dynamic framework that empowers you to perform at your highest potential consistently and predictably. Your journey to morning mastery follows a predictable progression of transformation, but understanding this timeline is crucial for maintaining momentum when immediate results aren't visible. Let me walk you through what happens in your mind, body, and life as you progress through this evolution. During weeks 1-4, you enter what I call the foundation phase. Your body undergoes a biological reorganization. The first week is admittedly challenging. Your circadian rhythm is recalibrating, and your neural pathways are forming new connections. You might experience what I call temporal dissonance, a temporary state where your body clock conflicts with your new schedule. This isn't failure, it's adaptation in action. By week 3, your cortisol rhythms begin to synchronize with your new wake time. Sleep quality improves dramatically, and you start experiencing what we call anticipatory waking, naturally stirring just before your alarm. Months 2-3 mark the momentum phase. This is where the compound effect begins to manifest. Your brain's neural architecture has physically changed, creating what neuroscientists call preferred pathways for your new behaviors. Morning resistance diminishes significantly. You'll notice enhanced cognitive clarity extending well into the afternoon. Decision-making becomes sharper, more intuitive. Projects that once seemed daunting now feel manageable because you're consistently engaging with them during your peak cognitive hours. Months 4-6 bring you into the acceleration phase. This is where the real magic happens. Your morning routine has become so integrated that it operates on autopilot, freeing up mental bandwidth for higher-level thinking. You begin experiencing what I call success synchronicities, seemingly random opportunities that arise because you're consistently operating at a higher frequency. Your capacity for complex problem solving expands dramatically. Creative insights occur more frequently and with greater depth. Beyond 6 months, you enter the mastery phase. This is where your morning routine evolves from a practice into a personalized success technology. You're no longer following a prescribed formula. You're innovating within the framework, customizing each element to maximize your specific objectives. Your relationship with time fundamentally shifts. Instead of chasing the clock, you're orchestrating it. The most fascinating aspect of this timeline is how it creates what I call success inevitability. Each phase builds upon the previous one, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of excellence. The discipline of your morning routine begins to permeate other areas of your life. Decision-making becomes more strategic, relationships more intentional, goals more ambitious yet achievable. This timeline isn't just about habit formation. It's about identity transformation. You're not just changing what you do. You're changing who you are. Each morning becomes a recommitment to your highest potential, a declaration that average is no longer acceptable in any area of your life. The person who masters their morning becomes unstoppable, not because they've learned new tactics,
but because they've developed a new operating system for success.
The path to morning mastery isn't without its challenges, but every obstacle carries within it the seed of a greater breakthrough. The key lies not in avoiding these challenges, but in transforming them into catalysts for growth through strategic adaptation. Sleep resistance presents the first major hurdle. Your body may initially revolt against the new schedule, manifesting as evening restlessness or morning grogginess. The solution lies in implementing what I call the neurological reset protocol. This involves creating a zero-light environment 90 minutes before bed, maintaining a consistent room temperature of 65, 67 degrees Fahrenheit, and using specific breathing patterns that trigger your parasympathetic nervous system. Energy fluctuations will test your resolve, particularly during seasonal changes when natural light patterns shift. Combat this through strategic light exposure and what I call energy banking. Front-loading your most demanding tasks during your peak energy windows and scheduling recovery periods that align with your natural cortisol dips. Social dynamics often present unexpected challenges. Friends and family may unintentionally sabotage your routine through late-night calls or early evening activities. The solution isn't isolation, it's strategic boundary setting combined with what I call social success scheduling. This means creating specific time blocks for social engagement that don't compromise your morning commitment while maintaining meaningful connections. Weather variations, especially during darker months, can impact your morning motivation. Counter this with an indoor light therapy system and by creating what I call your morning success sanctuary, a dedicated space that maintains consistent conditions regardless of external factors. Your next chapter begins tomorrow at 5 a.m. Not next Monday, not next month, not when conditions are perfect. Tomorrow. This isn't just about waking up early, it's about waking up to your full potential.